Hi there, and welcome to Star Pronunciations Tips to get you on the path to clearer English. My name's Georgie Taylor, and I'm a speech pathologist who specialises in helping people from non-English speaking backgrounds speak English with more clarity and confidence. In today's quick tip, I'd like to talk to you about two areas: rate of speech and volume of speech. Now, there's lots of things to think about when you're working to improve your English pronunciation. But rate of speech and volume of speech are really the foundations for clear speech. So that's why I want to start with them today. So I'd like you firstly to have a think, do you ever speak English too quickly? Or do you ever speak English too quietly? If you do, you're probably already a little bit aware of this because people will have asked you to slow down or speak up, or sometimes you might just notice that they haven't caught what you said by the expression on their face. Or you might get the feeling that they're guessing some of your words. All of these things are really frustrating for people who have a few difficulties with English pronunciation. So we want to help you be understood the first time. So if you do sometimes speak too fast, I'd like you to think about when this happens. Is it in certain situations? Is it when you're speaking to your boss? Is it when you're on the phone? Or maybe it's when you're giving feedback in a meeting, or a presentation, or when you're feeling nervous. So have a think about situations when you're likely to speak too fast. The next thing to do is try to remind yourself in those situations to slow down and control your rate. Now, it's easy to forget when you're trying to focus on what you're saying. It's hard to focus on how you're saying it. So there's a few tricks. My favourite trick is to write down on a yellow sticky note or post-it note in your first language, slow down. Okay, so whether it be Mandarin or Sinhala or Russian, write down, slow down, stick it on the top of your notes and hold it while you're giving your presentation. Put the sticky note on your phone. So when you make a phone call, you are constantly reminded to control your rate and slow down. Okay? We need to help ourselves remember. It's likely that you can slow down. What happens is you're just forgetting. So that's my little tip. Now, I have many clients who say to me at this point, but I want to speak English quickly. It makes me sound more fluent and more proficient at English. Well, personally, I disagree, and this is for a few reasons. The first is that good, effective English speakers don't tend to speak really quickly in the professional environment. We use lots of pauses and we use a good rate so our listener can absorb and take in our message. So the other thing to think about is that as a non-native speaker, you'll make some of the sounds and stresses and rhythms of English differently to a native speaker. This means that listeners have to concentrate a little bit harder to catch what you're saying. When you speed up, you give them less time to do this. So when you speak quickly, we have less time to catch the words that you're saying and less time to process them. Also, when you speak quickly, you're more likely to make more errors. Your speech is likely to become even flatter. Your vowels are more likely to become shorter. And you're more likely to do things like drop the endings off your words. You're more likely to make grammar mistakes. You're more likely to choose the wrong words and to make errors in your expression. So if you sometimes speak English too quickly, try to control the rate of your speaking. Things will really improve. It's a small, easy thing that you can do to really improve your clarity. You'll find that your grammar improves and your expression and your pronunciation because you have more time to think about what you're going to say. Also, you give your listener more time to absorb and take in your message. They'll focus on what you're saying, not trying to keep up with understanding you. Okay? Now, the next thing I quickly wanted to mention was volume. Are you sometimes speaking too quietly? If you are, think about when this happens and try to remind yourself to use a louder voice. Okay? Back with the sticky notes. In your first language, speak up. Put it on your phone. Put it on your notes while you're in a meeting or giving a presentation. Okay? Also, practice reading in a louder voice at home. It may feel to you like you're shouting. It might feel like you are speaking really loudly. You just need to get used to hearing a louder voice, okay? And you will get used to it. It just takes a little bit of time. So, 2 things to think about over the next 2 days. If you sometimes speak English too fast, control your rate and remember to use the sticky notes to remind yourself to slow down. If you sometimes speak too quietly, remind yourself in those situations to speak up and also practice using a louder voice as much as you can. Okay, that's it for today. Good luck.